I know I have a few female friends who are in gymnastics, and they've told me about that, and I didn't comprehend that because I was freaking 10 at the time. Right. But like the what's it called? There's like pills you take to like throw up and stuff. Yeah, it's bad.
No, thank you.
Growing up, was there a certain athlete that was your favorite or inspired you?
That's a great question.
So it'd be Michael Jordan would be the first one.
Yeah.
Just I was born in the 80s. So if you're born in the 80s or 90s, like you just kind of took to Michael Jordan. Now it's LeBron. I'm really inspired by him. His philanthropic work, how he's a family man too, and he puts that at the forefront. So I think LeBron may be my favorite athlete of all time.
Wow.
It was MJ for a while, but I think it's LeBron now, just because of the family man that he is and the charity work that he's doing.
I think it is really weird how he's like, I felt like he sort of almost peaked a while ago, and now he just almost randomly like started becoming like he repeat. It was really weird, and I think it's because of like almost his age, where like he's sort of getting to that age where like he has. I don't know how to describe it.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's like he like came in, everyone was like looking to him because like he was the next great. He was the next MJ, and he delivered. He was a great player, and then people started to like
move on,
expect greatness, and it just started to like kind of become normal.
Yep.
And now as he's aged and become older, it's like, wow, you're almost 40 and you're still great. Like that takes something else.
Yeah. No, it's funny. It's great to get the young people's perspective on LeBron, because I think what you guys are essentially saying is, we love to like build our athletes up and then tear them down.
Yeah.
So like we built LeBron up, and then for a period we were just tearing him down, and now we're starting to appreciate him again and his legacy. So as a 40-plus-year-old man, he's breaking all the records. He's holding it down still. Fun fact: I went to one of LeBron's first high school basketball games, maybe like 25 years ago, and I had never seen a stadium so packed. For a high school kid.
Yeah.
And he sold out the UCLA Poly Pavilion. Maybe
the whole thing.
The whole thing. It was like a 17-year-old kid was doing that, and it was just from that moment on, I was like, yeah, this guy's destined for greatness.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah.
Great question.
Thank you.
We won't start any GOAT debates or greatest of all time debates. Don't worry.
We can have a GOAT debate. I mean, I think Jordan's the GOAT.
Yep.
But I think LeBron's a close second.
Yep.
But where does Kobe seep in? Because everyone has a Kobe take.
Kobe's like, I think
I'm Kobe number one. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
I think he's good.
Yeah.
Okay, but like everything he did, first of all, okay, he had a great mindset. He had like his own skills. I'm not trying to like be like disrespectful, but almost everything he did, Jordan did better.
Yeah, I understand.
That's my personal opinion.
Kobe over LeBron?
And so personally, I'd put Kobe, I think, at 4. I'd take Kareem over Kobe too.
I think what really gets me going
Smart
about
man.
Kobe is like his discipline. Like that's always motivating.
His mentality.
His mentality. Where
I
like
think that's like what kind of drove people to put him in like
Yeah.
those high spots,
Yeah.
and he just kind of paved a way for like these new players that are coming in. Like you have to put the work in to be as good as you see everyone.
Like obviously it's subjective, but like what really like put him above Jordan for me was he didn't quit. And I'm not saying Jordan quit either, but there was an extra 10% that he consistently went like it was 50% for him. And like I don't know, I feel like I do put him at number one just out of his mentality, and obviously he is a great player, but that's really why I put him there.
Yeah. Where I put him over, I think both LeBron and Jordan is his mentorship.
Oh yeah.
He would bring all these young people under him, like Jason Tatum as a kid. Kyrie would look to Kobe. he would bring these young people under him and like teach them the game. And I think LeBron will do that too, but like LeBron and Jordan just kind of seem more focused on the business side of things, where Kobe was like, he just loved the game of basketball and put 100% into it.
Yeah. And like, I've seen like Hakeem do the same thing. I've seen like, but like Kobe took it to like the next level. Big as like Jordan wanted to win. LeBron, he wanted a like team. He wanted to win too, but he also like loved basketball. But Kobe just like, he just loved playing basketball. He loved working for it. He loved everything. That was like what his life was made to do, was like to play basketball, and like that's what he did.
That's what he did.
And that's why I think he is the greatest mind of any player ever.
Yeah. My LA friends are gonna be mad that I put LeBron over Kobe if they hear this.
One of the stories that comes to mind for me with Kobe was when he tore his Achilles.
Yeah, shot the free throw.
And still shot the free throw. And not only, but like in the background, he went to, I don't know if it was his coach or like his physical, what's the word? Physical therapist guy, whatever. And he was like, well, can I like snap it back in place? Like he wasn't even considering just taking it off. Like he wasn't even like, and then he still shot the free throw, of course. But, and then he went out that game. Yeah. But,
or the like times where he would like jam his finger and then
his coach would just
go off to the side, pop it back in.
I saw those videos. I couldn't.
There was no stop for him.
Like nothing too. Like he did like nothing.
There was no pause. He always kept going, and I think that's a great like kind of like thing to like take away. Second the finals ended, win or lose, he's back on the court, working out, playing, going over tapes, seeing what he did, seeing what he could have done better. He's just he studied everything, and he's like incredible.
Y'all making me miss Kobe, man. That's what
Well, do you guys want to move on to the next
next sauce,
the next wing?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, we're going hot.
Yeah, I guess you have to go hot now. I'm not gonna lie. If you, what's the?
I think this one's a little bit hotter.
This one's hotter.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
Is there stuff under it?
I think there might be. I'm not sure.
I don't want to double check. Oh, I hate those ones. Oh, you got it right away. Never mind.
There's also like,
it's always a struggle.
You know.
Yeah.
Bill Russell got like all those rings. He's got to be up there. Like
nobody talks about
Bill Russell enough. I feel like not at all. He's in my top 5 because there is no way you can win that much and be like, as a coach too, like.
The argument against Bill Russell is that he was playing against plumbers and train conductors.
But he still won. Was it 11?
12?
As a player?
11
no diss to Bill Russell.
I thought it was 12. But it was over 10. I know that. But yeah.
And let's not forget about Magic.
Magic too.
To me, he's the greatest point guard of all time.
Yeah.
Magic.
I think the same argument can be made against, like, it was a different era, but I hate that argument so much where it's like a different era. Because, like, it's in that era, it was the hardest it was at that time. Like, I hate that argument.
It's like now people are better, but, like, they can learn from the people who came before them. Yeah. They have better, like, equipment, trainers, science. They have, like, tapes from, like, every game ever that like they can watch and see what worked and what did not work. And like I also think that Magic is the like greatest quintessential point guard, where like when you think of point guard, you think of like role player, you think of passer, someone who can make those plays. He could still score and shoot, but like that's who he was. He was a point guard. Steph Curry Curry, no disrespect, amazing player, but he's, I think, more of a shooting guard. Like in their team, Draymond Green basically plays point guard.
Is that an argument? I always just
There's an argument.
Yeah, what?
that is.
That's an argument.
That's an argument.
A bunch of people like say like Steph's the greatest point guard, which you can take that and like all respect it. But
I didn't even know that was a.
personally, I'm putting Magic.
Yeah, it's an argument. Some are saying, because he's listed as a point guard.
Yeah.
And some are saying if he wins another one, he could surpass Magic. I mean, I don't think so in my book, but some people put him ahead of Magic.
All right, let's move on to the next question. How are the wings so far? I know
They're actually pretty good.
They are.
I mean, they're not like super fresh, but they're still like good.
Yeah.
Wings are wings.
All right. What is a niche or favorite hobby of yours?
I think I'm really more of an introvert. So I enjoy doing things alone. Like I'll go to the movies by myself, just check out a flick, and I'll travel by myself. Some of the cooler places I travel to solo, and I feel like this is kind of a niche thing because not many Americans enjoy traveling by themselves, and I think in Europe it's a pretty commonplace thing. Costa Rica, I've been to like the mountains of Panama, been hiking up there by myself. Where else have I traveled by myself? The Dominican Republic as well. So I think getting like venturing out, embracing other cultures, solo for me, like that's where I just kind of find my peace. As an introvert, is traveling solo. So
Yeah.
that's probably it.
I feel like with some of those places, like you mentioned, like it'd be better to travel solo. So then you're not like, you can get what you want to be done. Like in places like Europe, like if you're going to Switzerland, like if you want to go see like the mountains or just like the terrain and the culture and the people, I feel like it's better to go like by yourself so you can do what you want to do. Like if you're okay like going all by yourself and like being alone by yourself for that time with like, I mean, I guess you could say like no social, but you know.
And then I always connect with people while I'm there.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm extroverted enough to still find connections, which is great. But to your point, is like when you arrive with people, they all have their own plans, so it's hard to do what you want to do during those trips.
I think I'm kind of like ambivert-ish. I like need time to spend with people, but I also, if I'm spending too much time in a group, I kind of need to like take a step back. I kind of need both. But like I went to the Dominican with a friend last spring break, and that was like one of the best trips I've ever had. It was like so much fun. We like basically ate junk and like played beach volleyball the whole time.
Every day is paradise. And
that was great. But like one of my favorite things is like my grandparents have a lake cabin in Detroit Lakes. And like it's like log cabin in like on a lake. It's just some grass, a cabin, some sand, and like a dock, and like that's it. And like one of my favorite things to do ever is just go up there and like have a book and like read outside the like on the beach. And like I think it's nice to be able to like experience kind of both sides where like you can like experience things with someone and like kind of share that with someone that you care about and that you like, but then also be able to like step back and like take a break and like rest and then experience new things for yourself too. I think that's important.
Yeah, 100%. And I've been to the cabins out in Detroit Lakes, or I've been to a cabin out there. The mosquitoes were terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Man. It was tearing me up.
You gotta wear bug spray.
Me inside of the house, like it was wild. So yeah, bug spray for sure.
Oh yeah.
I'm very extroverted. unless it's in professional settings. Like whenever I'm in like a meeting or like anywhere where almost my career is being interacted with, I'm just silent until I need to speak. Because like when I'm around friends, I just don't feel that same requirement. But when it, like you've seen me in like professional settings, I suppose, before, like it's very true. Like I don't say a word unless it's like I have something to add, or there's something someone missed, or anything along those lines. Like I'm very, very quiet, like abnormally quiet. And then the moment I walk out the room, I'm just smiling and making jokes. So
Yeah.
Well, somebody like define introvert and extrovert for me as like, how do you recharge?
Yeah.
Do you recharge by like being around people, or do you recharge by being to yourself? Right. So for me, it's being to yourself. What about you? How do you recharge?
I think it's a bit of both. I could never be around people all the time, but I can never be alone all the time either.
Got you.
So
Well, so for me, it's kind of different because I have really bad ADHD, and my medicine is just a straight suppressor and everything.
Okay.
Like meals, socialness, work ethic. So when I don't take it, I finally just have like a chance to like be, I guess, me. And like I think when I'm off my pill, I'm a really extroverted person. Like I need people. I need to talk. Like I need to like share a piece of my mind. But when I'm like on my pill, it's just like I'm like boiling up all my thoughts in my head, and it's just like, do I say this or do I say this? Like, is it the right time to do any of that?
Yeah.
No, that's, I think I also like I gain energy from like being with my friends, and like if I'm out like late with friends, I gain energy, but then I like also have to like find times to like step back and like spend time with myself, because I like kind of need to like break, and like I like recharge from both. I have to have a mix. I can't just be out with friends, because then I'm gonna like get overwhelmed or like a little bit much if it's for like forever. But like if I'm like inside alone, I'm gonna be like also not having those experiences and like feeling that energy. So I kind of have to have that mix. But that's just me personally.
Yeah, I have friends who, you know, if they're alone by themselves in the house for like an hour, they just go crazy because they're so extroverted.
Yeah.
They just have to be around people all the time.
Yeah, I have people like that too.
too.
And then
Always
people
texting someone or calling someone. Or
trying to hang out.
Yeah.
And then people who like, if like you don't pick up your phone and like call them, they're not gonna move. You like have to drag them out of the house, and then they have a great time.
Yeah, right.
So they say, but like, but like you have to like get over there and like pull them out of bed, and like
so introverted
because they just want to spend some time with themselves.
Do you guys feel like that's more common for the younger generation, or for your generation, to kind of be more introverted, or is it like since the pandemic, or is it?
I feel like
kids more
just
social?
over the years, it has gotten like more kids are more antsy, anxious, and I wouldn't say depressed, but they're showing signs of there's something going on that they don't really know what's happening, but like deep down there's something like going around.
It's almost like become, and I hate to say this because I hate when like older people say this, but I hate it's almost become a trend. Like if you go on TikTok or Instagram Reels, God forbid Instagram Reels. If you go on TikTok, like it's almost a trend. You'll see people alone and they'll be making TikToks about it. And I think that it's a combination of two things, because I do agree more people are like introverted and anxious. Is one, more people are recognizing that as a real thing.
Yeah.
And coinciding with that, like with how much of a shock we have experienced as human beings as a younger generation has been insane. Like it's like we feel like it's normal. It's not normal. Nobody's gone through at least a pandemic like this. Nobody's gone through 2 different recessions. Nobody's gone through a culture shock. I mean, like I guess we weren't really we were like one maybe at the time
In
of
the
the
first
recession. Yeah.
recession.
Nope, like 2 recessions, which included COVID.
But that was
COVID.
like when it first hit was
Yeah.
2008. It
Yeah.
didn't like stop then. It like
Yeah.
lasted
Right.
for
And it's
for a
still
while.
it's still
so like,
repercussion to that today.
we were born into that.
Yeah, so we just adapted to that and see it as normal. One of the side effects of all of that, and obviously like social uproar and all that. One of the side effects of that is
Yeah.
being introverted, anxiety, and all other types of.
And I want to add like
illnesses.
there's like first of all there's been more like recognition, as you said, for like people who are introverted and like people who have like anxiety or people who like get like panic attacks, for them to be able to like take a step back and be like, hey, I actually don't feel comfortable doing this, I want to stay home, and that's great. But I also think that like I don't think there are more or less introverted people per se, but I think that like the way that you can kind of gain energy as a like extroverted person has changed. It's like the way that like you can communicate with people, the way that like there's like all sorts of like there's like FaceTime, there's Xbox parties, you can like play games with your friends from like across the globe. There's like or like see their face from your phone, and like people I know, like if they can't hang out with someone, they like call them up and be like and like talk to them for hours, because that's how they kind of fill that gap. That being said, they don't leave their house too, so I feel like it's like that they're still getting that same energy, but they're not kind of like spending it in like a way that's like productive, or like it's like the like next best thing, but it's not the best option, if that makes sense.
No, because I think everybody wants some sense of community, right?
Yeah.
And they're finding it, instead of like out in the world outside, they're finding it through their phones or through a screen. And I don't think that's necessarily healthy, but I also don't think adults are giving teens safe places. Like, we're not adjusting, right, to their needs. We're kind of behind the 8 ball. Do you guys feel like there's enough places for you guys to build community outside of school in like a safe way? Like, where do you guys go? Is it the rec? Movies? Where do you guys go?
I mean, I like a big part of my life, and like when like COVID hit, for like the first bit, I was stuck inside to be safe. But like once like summer hit and like it became known that like it like travels, you only really get it if you're indoors or like clumped in like huge groups. I like played football in the park with my friends like every day for like the whole summer, and like I went golfing like twice a day with my friends, because that's a way that like it's like outside. I played basketball at the park with friends, and like it's like simple as that for me. Is just like you can just, we don't even have to like talk about anything real. It's just like it's just like having that space to like see them and like be like face to face in person with those people, I think is a big kind of thing. And that's why for me personally, COVID didn't hit as big up until the like 8th grade school year, when like it was cold because fall and like winter, so you can't go outside, and there's COVID, so you can't go inside, so you're just stuck at home on your phone or on your computer doing work and like watching movies all day every day. And like that's when it started to hit. So
Well, it's refreshing to hear that kids are still playing outside, and I sound old right now, but that's how I grew up.